If there's one question we've got a lot of lately, it is, what's the deal with all the forks?
It's true, you guys have been asking, wondering, maybe some of you saw it at Blade Show, but we are here to squash the beef and tell it to you straight.
So, first of all, this is not necessarily a story about our beef with forks.
Yeah.
This is a story about Instagram.
It is. Sadly, as you guys know, if you're in the industry, and maybe if you aren't, we'll still tell you, but there have been restrictions, bans, all kinds of censorship going on with knives in the knife industry, specifically with meta software.
Something about this just gives some weird AI bot the willies, and the entire industry's been feeling it.
Yes, and so we decided to come up with this Zero Forks campaign to poke fun at the censorship, to say, hey, knives aren't so bad. How can we still promote the knives that people want to buy, people love to use every day, but with a fun twist?
Yeah, and spoiler alert, it actually works now. So if you watch enough of these videos, I'm sure that the AI overlords will somehow recommend you Zero Forks ads on Instagram, and you should check them out because they're a lot of fun.
Exactly. And so what we decided to do today is we have so many cool products that are Zero Forks themed, and we wanted to talk you guys through why these are so cool. A lot of them are limited. I should say all of them are limited. Exclusive to Blade HQ, as you know. But shall we just jump right in?
Yeah. I think let's jump right. I guess we got TR3 first up,
yeah? So we have the ProTech TR3 Integrity. This one stands out from the bunch as it's a black scaled handle with the blue G10 button instead of a blue handle, but we got the big Zero Forks logo on there. This thing is so pretty.
It is. The TR3 Integrity is really, really good, just as a knife in general. But what I appreciate about this is ProTech took one of their iconic models and sort of joined the fun, if you will. And this one, like many of the knives on the table, is also the serialized run. This one's out of 50, and most of them are going to be there. So highly collectible, if you will.
It is, and the knife itself is so smooth. Obviously, you guys know ProTech. They make the best stuff, and they're always going to put out the best. But one funny thing about ProTech is they actually took this gag to the next level.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They made the ultimate titanium Damascus fork knife.
So
with
a
an actual
titanium
fork.
handle, and then they made the blade a fork out of Chad Nichols' Damascus.
Yes.
Who makes a Damascus steel fork?
Dave.
Dave does.
We will have to flash a picture of that on the screen.
And then Matt also has one of the forks. And by the way, if you came to Blade Show, you saw that we were going to sell that fork for a lot of money.
Like $25K or something crazy.
Yes, what I was told, though, is if you came up and you gave a real offer, like a significant interest, they probably would have sold it for significantly less.
Yeah,
But
that would have been
sticker
cool.
price was $25K.
Yeah, we'll show you guys that one. But on the back here, it does say Zero Forks given as well. All right, these ones are probably one of my favorites. So we have the QSP Penguin with the Glyde locks.
These are the new lightweight-ish ones with the full polymer.
Yeah, but they did a good job. I love on the pivot here, you have the Zero Forks logo, and I love the little accents of the white all around the knife. Kind of makes it pop.
Yeah, I'll tell you, white pocket clips I think might be a thing of the future. They're kind of fun.
They're clean.
They really pop.
Yeah, it'll definitely pop in your pocket too. But these are 14C28N, comes in both the satin and stonewash variation as well as this dark wash. So these are clean. And now you guys might be surprised about this one, but we got Spyderco on the Zero Forks train.
Yeah, Spyderco surprisingly likes to have a lot of fun.
They do.
And well, like their demand is so high. I'll tell you, if I had $1 for every time one of you commented, "Bring back the Para 2 Tanto," I would be able to quit this job. Like,
you'd be able to pay Spyderco to make the Tanto.
the thing is we can't pay them. They're just so busy making everything else. So the fact that they made enough time to make a serialized run of a Zero Forks knife, thank you so much, Spyderco.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
It is. And they took one of their inline models. So this is like the Blurple FRN handle with the S110V.
Let's say that's a G10, yes.
Yes. My bad.
That's
but
all right.
This one's cool. It actually has the engraved logo on the back of the blade.
And inside the fork is the serial number.
Yeah.
So I want to say that's something of 50.
These are out of 50, yeah. So these are going to be very limited.
Yeah, that's the case with most of these. I know some of these we got a fairly decent run on, so you can all get it on the Zero Forks fun. But some of these, like, act now. They will not be around. Because also, these are just what we had left over from Blade Show. So some of these are already selling out as we speak.
Yeah, and we will say this with other knives on the table, but this is not something Spyderco will ever do again. Like, they did this out of the generosity of jumping on board with us, and you will never see this. So it is so exclusive. It's cool.
Excellent. Yep, next up we got the chive. This one's fun, I'll just hold it.
That one is cool. A nice little fun semi-automatic opening assisted.
Yes. Another thing I like here is serial number on the blade, and then you have the same white that makes the Kershaw makes this. So they like made us a new stencil for this. They made sure it all was fancy. This wasn't just grab whatever inline knife and laser it. They went out of the park for this one, and I enjoy it.
Absolutely. That's a nice one to throw in your pocket. I think a good beginner knife as well. I know we talk about the assisted opening Kershaws to be a great beginner's knife.
This is the greatest dad knife ever because this little thing right here, you just slide it forward, and now that knife is locked shut.
Yeah.
So if you got littles in your house who occasionally will raid your drawer full of knives, if you have a chive there, your children are much less likely to wound themselves.
It's true. And even outside of that, it's a dependable knife. And it's nice and small and lightweight. I like
Ken
it.
Onion design. Plus, who doesn't love a good pun? Because the big one's the leek, and this one's the chive.
The chive.
All onions.
I love it. They know what they're doing. That's sweet. And then next up, we have a Vosteed Parallel, which I've become quite the fan favorite of this one.
Getting a little fancy with it.
Yeah, excuse my grubby fingers, but this one's cool. It's kind of like an off blue, turquoisey purple. It kind of, in the light, it kind of turns colors.
Yeah, I want to say this is the only anodized titanium knife on the table, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Most of them do a Cerakote or some other powder coat or a G10, but this one, anodized.
Yeah, it looks really good with the black coated blade. This one is also out of 100, so serialized, and then you have the nice black and white logo there on the front.
Yeah, I'm curious as to how they put that logo on, because I would think that they lasered it, but I don't know, some smart person in the comments will be like, you can laser both white and black. I have no idea.
At the same time.
Yeah, whatever they did, it looks really good. Came out nice and
I-
super slim and light.
It is. Yeah, this is a great one. A good EDC.
Next up is the Pyrite, also with an excellent button lock action. And it's just so pretty.
The blue
white,
pops a lot on
blue.
this one.
Yep. And also, I want to say AR RPM 9. Yep, it's not the new SF2 yet.
Typical Pyrite.
Typical Pyrite, flickable action, great EDC knife, and I gotta say, I think this might be my favorite of the blues on the table.
Yeah, it has more of a punch to it.
Am I too bold in saying that?
It's just a less of a matte blue than the rest of them, but it looks really good.
It's like somebody went to the saturation on real life and dragged
like,
it way up on just this knife.
Yeah. No, this is a good one. If you're looking to get into the Zero Fork stuff, if it piques your interest, I think the Pyrite is, again, a good entry level price-wise and just usability-wise.
Yeah, I would say if you want to get in on the fun, but you don't want to spend a lot of money on a Grail knife, one of these two is the man.
For sure.
Yeah, although this would be a really hard pick. I'm gonna have to get both.
I know, I'm like on the table, I'm like, oh wait, I like this one. Oh wait, I like that one.
That's what it was like at Blade Show, too.
Exactly. So many good things. Speaking of good things, Benchmade 940 Osborne with the Zero Forks outfit. This thing is so cool. The blue G10, the black blade. On the back, you got the little logo here under the serial number. This thing's sick.
It is. And one of my favorite things about this is this was perhaps the most fought over knife at Blade Show. The most fists were thrown.
I know. People did like this one a lot.
Yeah.
How could you not, though?
It's great. Who doesn't love the 940?
I know.
Yeah, and the big thing is we had the punching bag. And I'll tell you, Sebastian Baringi, I want to say is his name, the guy behind Borka. I would not stand in front of him if he is
could throw
angry.
a punch.
My goodness, can that guy punch hard?
I want to say it was like 950 or something like that.
950.
He had some crazy number, but yeah, basically, if you won the punching bag for the day, you won one of these 940s, so people were loving it.
Yeah, so that was a pretty big hit. I imagine we'll see that punching bag again. So if you can throw a really hard punch, then show up to Blade Show and win a knife and show everybody else how much cooler you are than them.
Exactly. And then in the trend of we don't really see brands doing this, we have the Microtech ZBP.
Yeah, the Ultratech. So, I mean, double action out the front, zero blade play. Seriously, what's not to like?
Yeah.
And when I was told that this Zero Forks campaign was coming, like, oh yeah, we're gonna get some exclusives running, this was not the knife I thought was gonna come.
Oh yeah, I thought that about a lot of these. I remember seeing them and I'm like, are you serious? Like,
How?
How did they do this for us?
Yeah, so I don't know what our buyers have been doing, what kind of favors they've been doing, but like,
They've been working.
they've been working because, I mean, this is like a $400 knife,
Yeah.
like Grail OTF for a lot of people, one of the best in the world. Super slick double action. and they Zero Forksed it.
I know, it feels great. And I do love with this one, probably one of my favorite ways that the branding played into this is they just replaced the Ultratech logo, or the Microtech logo, with the Zero Forks. So it looks like it was meant to be this way.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Microtech even went for that. Like, their own branding is such an important thing. Like, I don't see a Microtech anywhere on this knife.
Yeah. Hey, they're supporting.
I guess we've got the Tony Marfione signature, because it's part of the signature series.
Yes.
And then the fork here, like somehow they stenciled it so that there's like boundaries, like so tiny.
It's slightly textured too. It feels.
Yeah, and
it feels like a little grippy.
Cerakote's kind of weird because you have to like spray it on. How do you get such a tiny little? I don't know. And then Buck.
This might be one of the most beautiful, well-crafted knives on the table.
So first of all, we have this stabilized wood that they made blue.
So cool.
Brass bolsters in guard, so it gives it a bit more back weight, which I appreciate.
Yep.
And then a Boss Heat treated CPM crew wear blade.
Yeah, what a build out. They're like, we're gonna just throw everything into this, and they did. It's phenomenal. It's a great knife. I would be scared to use it because it's so cool, but it's a collector's piece.
So this much I can tell you though. I want to say that even in Buck's custom shop, you cannot get this combo of handle material.
Yeah.
And crew wear, with the whole Crucible situation, you're not going to see very much of it in the future. In fact, I was talking to the guys at the Niagara booth at Blade Show, and apparently NSM wear is going to be the generic version of crew wear because Airsteel doesn't want to make crew wear anymore.
Interesting.
So this knife has a lot of stuff you'll never see again.
Yeah, no, and they killed it. And with a lot of these, I guess we should maybe talk about who are these knives for. They might not be for someone who's just getting into knives, but maybe they do because it is a fun little theme. But these are most likely for the collector, someone who maybe wants to have one of these on display knowing you're never going to get them again, or maybe just someone who's super into EDC stuff. And then, you know, a lot of these brands did pick their probably most prominent or classic knives, and we see that with the CIVIVI Quibit.
Yes, indeed.
And I love this one. It has the bottle opener. So you'll see that, which I don't think they do that anymore, do they?
Not on the Wii ones. I think the CIVIVIs might still have it.
Okay.
I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure somebody in the comments knows.
There you go. But this one's also serialized out of 100. We actually have number 1 here.
Number 1?
Pretty sick.
I have to pick that one up.
That one, yeah, that one will be somewhere. But again, we have the logo in the center. We have the nice blue aluminum scales.
The aluminum.
Aluminum. Yeah, this
I'll see
one,
myself
so
out.
fidgety. As you know, the button lock, thumb stud combo, you're just gonna use it all day long.
Yep, this is a great one. I like it a lot.
Another probably good, more budget option as well.
Yep, also one of the few on the table with the reversible pocket clip.
That's true.
Not too many of those
Good
have
to point that out.
Yeah, I think we got them
Penguin
on these two, this guy. The
Pyrite doesn't?
Pyrite? No, the Pyrite does. Okay, maybe there's a lot with reversible pocket clips and I'm just making stuff
Hey,
up.
it's fine.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Then next up, we're combining a couple of big sheep right now. We've got Heretic Cell Shade plus Zero Forks.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we had to do this. Cell Shade's so big right now.
So
and
fun.
Yeah, they do such a good job. And so we were like, hey, please make a Cell Shade for Zero Forks. And they knocked it out of the park.
Now, back on the subject of censorship. So the Cell Shades look like they're animated. When I first saw them, I'm like, wait, is that like a PNG asset you taped in? No, that's just the knife.
It is.
I wonder if you put a photo of a Cell Shade knife and tried to do an ad with it, could you snake it by the AI?
That's true, because the photos really do look like a toy or just like a print or a painting. I could see it working.
And then next up, one of the ones I was been eyeing quite a bit is Reate EXO-U.
Yeah, I do like this one. Again, a utility blade, the only one on the table. These are great for just keeping in your pocket or in a bag or a purse and just pulling it out if you need to open a box or a letter or anything.
Or
it's so convenient.
You have ADHD like me, you just pull it out.
Or you just need to use it all day long.
I'll bet my coworkers would not get annoyed of this anytime soon.
But I think another one that they did really well. The blue is perfect. I love the logo on the front there. Super clean.
It's good. I like it a lot.
Me too.
And lastly, this is one of the few where I heard from the brand, like, yeah, that was fun, but never again.
They're like, you asked too much for this.
Yep, we have the Street Scalpel from Topps.
Yeah, this one's so cool. I do like how some of the brands engrave the logos onto the blades versus others had it printed onto the scales. and it just looks so good.
Yep. And normally Topps does powder coats, but I'm looking at this, and maybe that's a powder coat and it's just really smooth and polished. I wonder if it's a Cerakote.
It might be.
Yep, and then black micarta, 1095, nice Kydex sheath. A good self-defense option, a good everyday carry fixed blade option, and I just love the Zero Forks.
I know, me too. You could probably turn it into a nice pocket fixed blade if I'm honest.
Yeah, just throw a little ulti clip on there or something.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Wouldn't be bad at all.
It's a good size.
Yep, and one of the things I love about this is it's grind, so it's a very thick blade, and Topps is kind of known for those. They like to make bomb-proof stuff.
It is, that is thick.
Yeah, but then it has this really interesting plunge grind that leads to a nice thin edge.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Hey, they thought of it all, as did all of these brands on the table. And I think we just want to express our gratitude towards the brands that are helping us support this movement and this fun theme that we're playing into. And hopefully you guys enjoy the same thing. We hope we can kind of see you start picking these up, using them, showcasing them.
And if you want to stick it to Big Fork like us, all of these are going to be available at bladehq.com, but on a very, very limited basis. Because as we mentioned earlier, many of these are serialized runs and we are not ordering more.
It's true. Yeah, definitely a collector's piece. But thank you guys for joining us. We hope you enjoyed, and we will catch you on the next one.